Hey people, welcome to the Run Test. It's Kieran here, and in this video I am going to be ultra testing the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultra. I've wanted to get these shoes on my feet for a long time. Now is the opportunity. They are fresh out the box on my feet, and I'm going to be taking them for a solo, hopefully 30-mile run. I know Nick's already tested these, so if you want to check out his video, you can go and see what his thoughts are when he was running on some more technical trail and the forest paths out in Epping, East London. I'm going to go and see what they're like to go and push big mileage though. Let's go and find out. Let's give you some quick details then. And the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultra stack comes in at 38 mils in the heel and 30 mils in the forefoot for an 8 mil drop. They weigh in at 267 grams or 9.4 ounces in my UK men's size 8.5 test shoe. They've got 2 lug depths. You've got 2.5 and 3 mil lugs on the bottom. On price, they're £200 in the UK and $230 in the US. And they're coming on sale on the 9th of May. I think at 11 o'clock in the UK. So the plan then for this run, I've got a route that I've mapped, it's around 36 miles. There's a big chunk of road to get there, so I'm doing a bit of commuting on the road to test the shoes out there, road to trail potential, but then we'll hit 2 of the kind of biggest sort of trail friendly parks in West London. We've got Richmond Park and then we've got Wimbledon Park. But I'll do a few big loops. I'll sort of take it a little bit off the compacted trail paths as well when I can to try and find some decent, more technical terrain. And we are going to try and go for the 36 miles. We'll see how that does. If I come up short, I come up short, but that's the plan. So I've done 10 miles, about an hour and 40, taking it nice and steady. First thing to say about these shoes, the comfort on the feet is great. I was worried about kind of, whenever I see those kind of really thin heel collars and those kind of minimal setups on shoes, it always worries me. And for when you're sort of going long distance ultra, often, you know, I'm going to want to look for a little bit more padding in a sort of more traditional heel collar. They've been absolutely fine. The hold has been good. The on-foot comfort, the step-in comfort's been massively disappearing. Really nice. Wrapped across the top of the foot without feeling constricted. Room in the toe box without feeling too loose and baggy. And overall the ride has been absolutely perfect for what I'm doing now. You can see these kind of hard, sort of mainly compacted kind of sort of trails. They get a bit softer and a bit muddy in places. 6 miles of the road. But the energy from the shoes for this kind of sort of flat, undulating, but sort of untechnical, easy running terrain, it's absolutely bang on. This shoe has been a dream so far. It's moving really well. And if I was attacking this kind of run on this kind of terrain at a much faster pace, these shoes I think would be absolutely excellent. I find there's a good amount of energy from that Lightstrike Pro midsole. I'm getting really good kind of propulsion and energy, but it's sort of controlled. It's not crazy. I don't feel wildly unstable. I feel like I'm kind of in control of the shoe, not the other way around. It's going to be interesting later on when I get onto something that's a little bit more uneven, maybe a little bit more stony, a little bit more technical. I mean, it won't be technical, but it'll be a bit more off-road, a bit more of a challenge for the shoes. But 10 miles in, these shoes are running like a dream and I'm really enjoying them. So that's the marathon done in around kind of 4 hours. For the last 10 miles since I spoke to you last, these shoes just run absolutely bang on. No trouble at all. They've been absolutely perfect. It's just lots of energy to them. They're so comfortable underfoot. The ride feels rockered. It feels sort of springy but controlled. It's cushioned, it's protective. It's not fussy. It's just, it feels very natural, I think, actually, underfoot on this kind of terrain. And when I say natural, I kind of mean in that sort of super shoe natural sense. But you know, they're not, I don't think they're interrupting my kind of style. They're not making me aware of my feet landing. I'm just landing and just being given a little bit of energy in each step as I roll through. I've been on some harder terrain. This is not Chamonix. This is not, you know, Colorado. This is not going to be the kind of southwest coast path. It's all quite tame in here. There was some sloppy stuff back there, some tree roots and some rocks and whatnot, but it's not particularly technical, and it might be different when you start landing on, you know, more uneven ground. You're not going to get maybe the consistency out of that midsole foam, and it might become less stable and a bit more wobbly, a bit more difficult to control. On steeper descents, the same might be true. But for what I've done so far, and, you know, I'm thinking in my head, I've got things like the New Forest Marathon, where it's sort of a mix of road and off-road, light off-road. It would be perfect for this shoe to be racing that. I also think, you know, a lot of things I always say, like the Thames Path 100 miler, I think you'll be happy on the South Downs in this shoe. I think you'll be happy on the North Downs in this shoe. I think there's loads of UK trail runs that this will work for really nicely. Yeah, it feels like it saved my legs. Got 4 to go though, so we'll see at the end how I feel after that. So that is the ultra test of the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultra done. I'd end up doing 50 Ks, just over 30 miles. It took me 5 hours. So I think for an ultra, that was moving for me anyway, sort of reasonable clip actually, for how I'd move over. Normally I'd run at kind of 5 miles an hour. So I was 6 or more. Obviously not hugely technical terrain out there, but actually, interestingly, that's exactly what I think this shoe excels at. It would be interesting to try it on sort of trickier mountain routes, and if anyone has, I'd love to hear how you get on with it, how that kind of punchy midsole is impacted when you're trying to kind of keep, you know, connection with the ground and moving over uneven terrain where you need a bit more stability and you want a little bit more firmness and ground contact, and, you know, that kind of road shoe punchiness that might not help you. But here in the last sort of 5 hours that I've run on this, where I've been on terrain that's very manageable, very runnable, not too steep, easy, that shoe has performed absolutely bang on. It was brilliant. I was really worried kind of fresh out of the box. Sometimes when you do these things, you can be a bit concerned about how your feet are going to hold up in a shoe that's quite minimal in the heel collars. It looks very racy. It's, you know, it's got that big stack of the midsole foam, which is quite springy and bouncy, and I was worried about how that would hold up. So much so that I put a spare pair of shoes actually in my ultra vest here that I carried the whole way just in case. But none of that problem. They were great. I mean, the comfort on the foot is exceptional. For that distance, these shoes, I'm in no hurry to take them off. They just feel really natural. There's plenty of room, good wiggle room in the toe box. I don't feel cramped at all. I've had no rubbing, no cramping up at the toes. Yeah, that's really, really nice. And then underfoot, the ride has been, you know, tip top basically. I mean, I just sort of smooth, it rolls. There's a little bit of propulsion. It's got a real kind of road shoe feel to it. This is definitely a shoe that is road shoe DNA morphed for the trails, and if you like that kind of ride, then this is going to be a shoe that you'll enjoy. I definitely, having done this, think this is a shoe that I would choose to go racing if I was taking on some flatter, more runnable trails where you're not looking at anything that's sort of too technical, too rocky, too lumpy underneath. This is a great shoe. It can definitely handle bits when you get back into the road as well. I mean, this runs better than some road shoes I've run in recently. You know, I could name a bunch of them that this performs much better. Lululemon, Blissfeel, all of those. Yeah, I'd rather run in these. You know, I'd almost be happy to race a marathon in. Obviously, it's very grippy and it's very sticky on the tarmac, and you probably wouldn't want to do that, but it is not far off that kind of sort of road shoe, super shoe feel that you've got. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with this. I'm very, very surprised. Obviously, I think if you sort of taking it into anything that's a little bit more tricky and a bit more difficult to run on, it might change that kind of profile. But for that kind of running, this is a winning shoe. So there you have it. That was my ultra test of the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed Ultra. To give them the full name, it's pretty a mouthful. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Give us a like if you did. If you're weighing up off-road ultra shoes, I'm dropping a video up here now that's worth a look. It's one of my other favourite shoes for long hauling. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon on the Run Testers. Happy running, people.